The studio lights gleamed, illuminating the sleek, modern set where James Holloway sat confidently across from his guest. The renowned talk show host had built his career on sharp intellect and even sharper provocations. Tonight, his sights were set on Keanu Reeves, a beloved actor known for his humility and enigmatic presence. But tonight's conversation wasn't about movies or fame. It was about something deeper. Holloway gestured toward the silver cross hanging from Keanu's neck. It's 2025. The world has changed, people have changed, and yet here you are. He pointed directly at the necklace, wearing an archaic symbol. The audience stiffened, sensing the sharpness in Holloway's words. Keanu's gaze remained steady. Archaic, he asked calmly. Holloway smirked, twisting the knife deeper. Yes, religion, faith, belief in unseen forces. He waved a dismissive hand. I'm not a religious man, Keanu. I believe in reason, in progress. And frankly, I find it surprising that someone like you, modern, progressive, intelligent, would still cling to something so outdated. Some in the audience chuckled nervously. Others shifted uncomfortably. Keanu, however, didn't flinch. He simply looked at the host with a quiet, unshaken intensity. Then, at last, he spoke. Interesting, James. His voice was steady, carrying an undertone of quiet strength. You talk as if faith and intelligence are mutually exclusive. Holloway snorted. Oh, come on, Keanu. Let's be honest. How many wars have been fought in the name of that cross you're wearing? How many people persecuted, condemned, killed because of that symbol? Keanu ran his thumb over the pendant. Do you want to debate history, or do you want to debate my necklace? An audible ooh rippled through the crowd. Holloway's eyes narrowed slightly. He wasn't used to being called out so directly. He forced a chuckle, but his fingers tensed on the armrest of his chair. Fair enough, he said, his tone sharper. Let me make it simpler. Then, are you wearing that cross as a statement, as a declaration to the world? It was a trap. If Keanu said yes, Holloway could accuse him of pushing a religious agenda. If he said no, he would seem hypocritical for displaying a symbol without standing by it. But Keanu didn't fall for it. Instead, he tilted his head slightly. Are you wearing that expensive watch on your wrist as a statement? James. A pause. Just a second too long. The audience laughed. Keanu had flipped the conversation effortlessly. Holloway's jaw tightened for a fraction of a second. He leaned forward, his voice lowering just enough to sound dangerous. All right, Keanu, let's be blunt. In a world of science, evolution, and technology, do you really believe that symbol still has a place? Keanu leaned forward slightly, his expression unreadable. James, if you don't mind, may I ask you a question? Holloway smirked, feigning amusement. By all means. Keanu studied him for a moment before speaking. What do you believe evolution is? Holloway squinted slightly. Oh, come on, Keanu. Evolution is progress. Growth, leaving behind outdated beliefs and advancing toward a world driven by reason. Keanu nodded. So, to you, evolving means abandoning anything that can't be measured in a lab. Holloway chuckled dryly. If something can't be proven, then it's just an idea, right? Keanu's eyes held firm. And love? Holloway blinked. What about love? Can you measure love, James? The audience murmured. Holloway scoffed, but there was an edge of nervousness now. I'm not sure I follow. Keanu's voice remained steady. Does love exist? Holloway exhaled sharply. Of course it does. But have you ever scientifically proven it? Have you ever held love in your hands, placed it under a microscope? The silence in the studio was deafening. Keanu continued. You talk about faith as if it's a chain that binds people. But what if, for some, it's a bridge? What if, for me, this cross is not about control, but about freedom? Holloway opened his mouth to counter, but Keanu pressed on. You brought up wars, persecution. Yes, religion has been misused, twisted by people in power. But that doesn't erase the fact that for millions, it has also been a refuge, a light in the darkness. I wear this cross not as a statement of superiority or control, but as a reminder. Holloway's lips pressed into a thin line. A reminder of what? Keanu looked directly at him. Humility, compassion, that the world does not revolve around me. Silence stretched across the studio. Then Keanu asked, "What about you, James?" Holloway frowned. "What about me?" Keanu's voice was soft yet unyielding. "Do you believe in anything greater than yourself?" The audience grew even quieter. The question landed like a punch. Holloway tensed. He inhaled, composing himself. "We're not here to talk about me." Keanu offered a small, knowing smile. "Maybe we should be." For the first time, James Holloway was on the defensive, and the audience noticed. The studio was silent, not the expectant kind of silence, but a heavy, charged stillness. Holloway, the man who prided himself on being in control of every conversation, was losing ground, and he hated it. He forced a chuckle, straightened his tie. "You're clever, Keanu. I'll give you that." Keanu's face remained unreadable. "Conversations have a way of revealing more than we plan, James." Holloway's eyes flickered toward the cameras. He had built his career on dismantling arguments, leaving guests scrambling for words. But tonight, something was different. Keanu's calmness, his quiet certainty, it was disarming. Holloway could feel the shift, and so could the audience. A slow realization spread through the crowd. This wasn't just an interview, it was a moment. Then a sound broke through the silence. A single clap, then another, and then an eruption of applause. The audience rose to their feet, a standing ovation shaking the studio. Keanu's words had resonated. His ability to navigate through every provocation had left them speechless. James Holloway had lost, and for the first time in his career, he knew it. As the applause continued, Holloway sat back, something shifting behind his eyes. Perhaps frustration, or perhaps, just maybe, a hint of doubt. The cameras rolled on, capturing a moment that would be talked about for years to come. And in that moment, James Holloway wondered, just for a second, if he had been wrong all along.